Welcome all, this is Ryder, and today I'm going to show you a replay from War Thunder tank battles. I'll be using my Panzer V Ausführung D, otherwise known as the Panther. This is, of course, simulator. So this is actually the third time that I've attempted to record this replay. Hopefully this time it'll go through. So there I am. I've only played this map once before, and I went to the right and didn't have much success. So this time I decided to go to the left. And of course, high ground is always the best place to be. So I decided to head up this hill. Now it's important to note that this is a third person perspective. This is for replay only. When you're actually playing the game, you kind of get a view that looks more like this. And then you get a view from the gunner's port, which I cannot show in replay. So I'm going to start climbing this hill. Really not too much to see here, so while I'm doing this, we're going to take a look at some of my teammates. Looks like we got a guy flying a plane there. Props to him, it's simulator battle. This guy is actually going to the right. He's going to try and flank around the back of the Russian position. Speaking of Russians, and there I am, still climbing the hill. Now this guy is going to make a cardinal mistake here. If you notice, he's moving one along the road, which is never a good idea. And two, he's going to move out from that rock formation in front of him, which is really the only thing that's keeping him from being seen by the Russians right now, because they're all the way across the field on the other side. He's going to move into this ditch here, but again, that doesn't help him because unless you have a lot of gun depression, you're not going to be able to shoot or see them before they see you. So he moves up here into position. Now there's someone off to his right, a teammate, that sees that tank right in front of him. And he fires, but he's getting fired at from behind that tank. The tank in front of him gets hit, and now he's getting shot at from two different spots. Bad, bad, bad place to be, and he's going to die here real quickly. Okay, I've made it up to the top of the hill. And at this point, I'm going to try and peek down through these trees into that valley. Now, it's important to note I'm right out here exposed on the top of this hill, but I have enough concealment that I think it's worth the risk. The key to playing tanks, especially in simulators, you have to be patient. You got to wait for someone to come in front of you. I know that they're in that direction, so I paused, but didn't really see anything, so I decided to move up. Now this is a great spot here because I can't really be seen, but then I don't get a good view. So I'm going to peek up, which again is not the best idea because as soon as I come over this little rise, I start exposing my tank. But I decide to angle my tank a little bit in the hopes that maybe I'll get a deflection if I do get shot at. But I don't really want to spend too much time here, so I'm going to just take a quick peek, look for a snapshot, and then start to move back. into cover. However, I am exposed all the way across this valley, and as you see, I'm going to take a shot there, which hits me right in the back of the turret, so does some damage. So I'm going to move forward into cover and repair my tank. While I'm repairing, let's check in on some of my teammates. This guy's just been respawned and he's not taking the best route. He's kind of going back towards the center of the map, which is where the enemy is, and it's probably not going to bode well for him. Now this guy has, wow, taken a hit. There's a tank right in front of him. Replay, he disappeared, but he got him and killed him. He's going to move back. He has flanked the Russian position and is behind them, which is why that tank was off to his left side. He's going to move up. Now we'll see this spot later in the game, but for now we're going to go back to me. There's that guy sitting right out in the open again. Not the best place to be. So I'm almost done repairing. As you can see, I have a nice safe spot here to do so behind this gigantic rock. Now, had I been a little bit smarter, I probably wouldn't take that hit earlier, and it wouldn't have cost me 2 minutes of the game. So now I'm moving forward. About this time, one of our teammates is yelling and screaming over chat that the Russians are sitting on our objective point, and so he's using nice, colorful language to let us know that we need to go back there and get it before they get the capture points. I kind of peek out around the corner here. I just want to make sure that I don't see anything and that nothing can see me. I don't, so I decide, hey, well, let's go back and check and see what's going on at our spawn point. Now, I talk about not driving along the road, but in this particular case, it's okay because I know I've got this giant hill here to block me basically from being seen by the Russians. It's called an intervisibility line, and they cannot see me at all. I'm completely hidden. But before I head back to our spawn point, I don't know exactly where that other Russian tank is, so I want to make sure that they're not in front of me by those fires up on that hill where he gets a free shot and I don't see him. I don't see anything, so I decide to go ahead and make a move. Again, even though it doesn't look like it, there's a lot of cover here, and I cannot be seen as I'm moving down this road. Now, one of my teammates has put artillery back on this location. You see the smoke there in front. Lets me know that that's probably where that Russian tank is. So I feel pretty confident to move up, but I'm going to use these rocks in order to hide my approach. So as you can see, I've moved up. That's the circle. That's where he's sitting. And there's the tank. So I go, take a shot, boom, right through the side, destroy. Now I have to do something that I don't want to do at all, and that is I need to go sit and take back our objective points so that we can get some points. In the meantime, my teammates are sitting on the Russian objective point. Let's go check in with them. You can see they're sitting here, open ducks. This guy gets hit. This guy's going to start taking fire from this Russian tank that's in front of him. He's going to die very shortly as well. But they do capture it, although only briefly. So there I am, and I have to sit on this position. Now at this point, I believe there's only one Russian tank left, and it's just me and a partner who will be respawning shortly, if he hasn't done so already. He has, and he is now going to try and flank them from the left, the one tank that he knows is out there. Meanwhile, I'm stuck here out in the open trying to get our position back. The good news for me is that I can see that the Russian tank is doing the same thing that I'm doing. He's sitting on his spawn point, trying to get it, the capture point, or whatever you want to call it, the objective point, trying to get his points back. So I have an advantage. I get mine first, I can start moving out. I'm going to go off to the left since my teammate is going off to the right, and I'm going to try and flank around behind him from the left. Now I feel relatively confident moving out in the open. There's a pretty big IV line in front of me. You can see that ridge. You can't really see on the other side of it. I know that the Russian is not up in those hills, so I can move pretty freely. I'm going to do so as quickly as possible, get up and over this rise, and try and flank. My partner in crime is doing the same thing. He's moving as quickly as he can to the left to get around a big hill so he can flank him from the rear. I, of course, have now made it up over the top of the hill, and I'm going to just slowly move around and see if I can still see him. I see on the map that the Russian is still on the capture point, so if I can get there quickly enough, I might be able to get a free shot on him from distance. But at the same time, I'm trying to use good tactics to make sure that there at no point in time am I visible to him to get a shot off on me. I thought about going up there to my left and checking that out and see if there's a good place to shoot from. But then I decided, no, I'm going to keep moving to the south as much as possible. Now I see a spot here where I'm able to see all the way down the battlefield, and I can see onto their capture. Sorry about that. That's basically where it's at. Now I'm really exposed, but I see that there's no tank there. So I'm just trying to see if there's any sort of a movement at all. I didn't see anything, so I'm going to move up, and again, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to peek out, see if I can see anything. Now, I'm pretty exposed here, but there's a good chance he would miss me and hit the wall next to me. Again, I don't see anything. That's the spawn point there. So now I'm in a conundrum. Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to expose myself to move out, but I figure, well, if I do it quickly enough, maybe I can get around and I want to continue to try and flank him. So I move back a little bit to make it a little bit more difficult so I can use these trees as concealment. And then I'm made it over safely. Meanwhile, my partner in crime is engaged somewhere with the tank, or at least headed around that way. Well, apparently he's dead already, so I know that the tank is still somewhere in that area, so I go ahead and move up. Now, as I'm moving to this area, which we saw before with the other tank, right about now I'm fully exposed. Okay, this is where I'm looking, and in my sniper mode, I see him and I take a shot, but I shoot high and I miss. He's going to get a shot off on me as soon as he finds me. Second shot, I get his cannon breach. I guess he doesn't get a shot off on me. I try one more shot, can't hit. Now I know I've hit his cannon breach. His cannon is probably damaged and he probably can't shoot. So I'm going to go ahead and go for broke. I know he's the only tank out there. I'm going to look once more, see if I can't just take a guess. Give him a little suppressive fire and move up as quickly as I can. Now if you notice, I'm angled towards the rocks to my left. I want to try and put as much distance, or sorry, as much terrain between me and him as possible. When I last saw him, he was backing up that hill, sort of like that. So I'm trying to get as close to those rocks as I can. Now, I don't know exactly where he is because I can't see him anymore. He's moved up somewhere on that hill. So I'm going to slowly kind of move around here. The whole while I'm checking to my left to make sure that he's not up and to the left behind me to shoot down on top of me before I can get my turret around. I don't see him, and then he's going to pop up right in front of me. He took a shot, he missed, took another shot, he got some damage, damaged my breach. I see him in front of me, and I'm going to take, boom, right through the side of him. He's dead. I put the round right between his turret ring and the hole. He did get off some artillery. Luckily, I survive. And that is it, folks. End of game. We win. So, hope you enjoyed. One more round through him just to make sure he's dead. Hope you enjoyed the show. Come and join us at www.alphastrikeforce.net, where you can play War Thunder, Star Citizen, Star Wars, and many other Steam games with us. Thanks for watching.